Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Jennifer's Tale, My Life as a Crossdresser. I, of course, am Jennifer, and I want to welcome you to this new episode. Welcome you to my podcast if you're brand new and checking this out on YouTube. Please do me a favor before anything else, right below my picture here, click on the subscribe to my channel. That way you don't miss out on new episodes. New ones come out usually every week on a Friday. I haven't missed a deadline yet, thank goodness. And please subscribe to my channel. Please also do me a favor and check out previous episodes. If you're watching this episode, I'm guessing you're probably a crossdresser. Maybe you're a friend or a loved one of a crossdresser, and all in all, you just want to meet other girls, know more about cross-dressing, hear about experiences, all sorts of stuff like that. That's what this podcast of mine is all about. First of all, I want you to know that if you are a crossdresser, you are not alone out there. There's plenty of other girls like you, like me, like my friend Jerry out there, and we are all in this world together. We're all trying to exist, survive, be happy, and the more you know about yourself or the more you know about your loved one, the better off we all are. So please check out previous episodes. I talk about everything, my life, experiences, hopes, dreams, desires, thoughts, being married and a crossdresser. I cover the gambit. And like I always say, my life is an open book to all you girls out there. If you have anything you're interested in hearing me talk about, please do me a favor, get in touch. I'll cover that later. And tell me what you want to hear. So that kind of covers that. If you're listening as an audio podcast on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you download your favorite audio podcast, everything I just said applies to you as well. If you are listening to this, chances are you found me and you are like a crossdresser as well. So you're checking out my podcast to hear what I have to say. So please do me a favor, subscribe to this podcast, check out previous episodes. There's over 100 previous episodes covering everything from my love of pantyhose to everything you can think of. So please check it out. So with that out of the way, this episode is called Emergency. We're talking about emergencies. I had a girl named Claire reach out to me on Facebook Messenger, and we were chatting, and I asked if she had any topics that she would like for me to cover. And she brought up this one, which is a very good, viable topic. She was like, what happens if you are outdressed as your feminine self and you have an emergency? Maybe your car breaks down. Maybe you have a medical emergency. What do you need to know? What are you going to do in these kind of situations? Which, Claire, very good question. It's something that I think a lot of girls don't think about when they go out. You're so wrapped up in looking your feminine best and getting out in public and going shopping or to the bookstore or to the restaurant, wherever. Now, you really don't think about what happens in between your home and where you're going to, or what could happen. So let's address these one at a time. Let's talk about car emergencies first. Now, just a little background for me. When I first really got into dressing as Jennifer, I was fairly young, just out of college, not a lot of money, so I was driving a lot of kind of beat up older vehicles, ones that, there was never a 100% guarantee that your car wasn't going to break down in between point A and point B. And when I dressed up as Jennifer back then, I guess I was a little bit more rambunctious, carefree, and I never really thought about, what might happen when I'm out driving around, having a flat tire, fuel pump go out, radiator hose break, something like that. So as a guy with the vehicles I always had like a toolkit with me and some handy stuff, duct tape, different things, just in case something would happen so I can kind of patch things up. If you're in that same kind of boat, having a toolkit with you is always a plus. I would say probably most times if your car is going to break down, it's going to be a flat tire. If you're dressing like I am today, wearing a kind of a cute dress and heels and that kind of thing, changing the tire may not look the best, but you got to do what you got to do. I am somebody in my adult life, thankfully, I have a couple of vehicles that I normally drive that are newer. They're serviced regularly, so I'm not too terribly worried about them breaking down, but you can always have a flat tire. I do not have AAA, so I can't call anybody to come change my tire. but I can change it myself. And maybe if I'm kind of a distressed looking woman on the side of the road trying to change my tire, maybe a good Samaritan will stop by and be willing to help me out and change my tire for me. You never know. I've talked to girls who have had that happen before, where they've had flat tires, and had somebody stop by and actually change the tire for them or help them out when they needed it. And they've never had any bad experiences or problems with it. The person who has stopped by has always treated them and respected them as an individual. Doesn't matter if they're, they can tell you're a guy dressed as a woman or not. Chances are, if they're stopping by, they're willing to help you out because they're a good Samaritan. And that's, as easy as it is. One thing that I have started doing, especially now in this day and age where you can reach out and make friends, I have several friends in the immediate vicinity that we get together from time to time, like my friend Jerry, my friend Evelyn, who I've gotten their phone numbers from and I've stored them in my phone just in case something happens. I've talked to them about this, and it's like, if my vehicle breaks down, is it okay if I call you to come pick me up? That way I can safely make it home, change into my mail stuff, and then I can worry about getting my car fixed or getting it towed somewhere, that kind of thing. And they've both been very gracious about that and are willing to exchange information because I'm willing to do that for them as well. So I think that's something that you can do. Or if you have somebody nearby that you know or that you've confided in, I have several friends who know about my cross-dressing and about Jennifer. And I know if something would happen to me or my car broke down, they would have no qualms about me if I called them up for helping me out. So having connections, having friends nearby, having people that can help you at a moment's notice is a definite plus in this day and age. You never know what's going to happen with your vehicle. So I think that kind of covers that. Now let's talk about a medical emergency. Now that, as I've gotten older, I've had some health issues, some heart issues. Thankfully, knock on wood, that's all taken care of and it's all good now. However, you never know what's going to happen when you're out with, as far as maybe a medical emergency. Claire, the lovely lady who brought up this topic, she actually had a medical emergency while she was out as Claire and had to go to the emergency room. It's not very often you hear about cross-dressers going to the emergency room, but if it happens, it happens. One positive thing, the first thing off the top of my head that I think of is doctors and nurses are there to help save your life or help make you feel better, if you're having a medical emergency. And if you get to the hospital dressed in your cross-dressing gear, they're going to help you out no matter what. Their job is to save lives, to help you and not be judgmental. That's what they're there for. It may be kind of embarrassing to have them take your clothes off or whatever they need to do to help you. But I think if you're in the hospital in the emergency room and you're having a medical emergency, you're not really going to care at that point what they think of you or anything like that. You're more concerned with they need to fix me and make me better. If you are if you're alone, if you don't have any family or you're just out as yourself, once again, having friends or contacts like that once you get to the hospital and are okay, that you can reach out to and say, hey, I'm in the hospital, I need some help, I need male clothes, I need whatever. Somebody who you can count as your bestie to help you out in that situation. Even likewise, if you have a family and you're not out to them as a cross-dresser and you've snuck out of the house while your wife and kids are away or gone to school, work, whatever, and you're out and you feel like you're having a heart attack and need to go to the emergency room, that's kind of important. You need to go, but you also need to reach out to your friend and say, or carry a change of clothes with you or something like that to cover those bases. I'm kind of jumping around here a little bit, but a medical emergency is something that you're going to end up going to the hospital. They're not going to care how you look. They're going to take care of you. The hard part is covering your bases, is having mail clothes and having something, because maybe they have something at the hospital. I don't know. I haven't been there. So, but I guess all in all, anybody who helps you, whether you break down on the side of the road or you find yourself in the hospital, they're going to care about you as a person. They're not really going to pass judgment on you because you're wearing a dress and a wig and heels. Try to think and plan ahead. Maybe carry a change of clothes in your trunk. Maybe, like I said, have a friend that you can chat with or get a hold of in a moment's notice and have them be able to help you. And if you have any other suggestions or things that may have happened to you and how you've dealt with them, jump in on this episode, jump in on this conversation. Plenty of easy ways to do that. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment on this video. Let me know what you think. If you're on Facebook, you can find me a couple different places. You can find my podcast Facebook page, which is Jennifer's Tale, My Life as a Crossdresser. You can also find my regular personal page, which is Jennifer Hangartner, HANGARTNER. And last but not least, you can send me an email. Send an email to Jennifer's Tale Podcast. It's all one word, no spaces, @gmail.com. This is kind of an interesting subject because there's no like cut and dried way of what to do if you have an emergency. You kind of have to play it by ear, but at least you can take as many steps as you can to kind of be prepared for the event that it actually happens. So let me know what you think. Let me know any tips you might have. And I hope you found this episode interesting. So until next time, this is Jennifer saying hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.